which one did you prefer? Do you like Canada or Germany? I mean, that's two very different places.
I like both, but I kind of prefer the other place.
Okay. So I haven't traveled anywhere. I've never left the United States. So for me, that
Yeah, I have traveled quite a bit in Europe mostly,
Mhm.
but then also Canada and the States a little bit.
Okay. Where all have you been in Europe?
Uh, Germany, the Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, Croatia, and France.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've traveled.
And I do not speak any French. and the French can be quite snooty when you don't speak French.
Okay, well, I know not to
you ask them in English and they answer back in French.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no.
And then you think, why? I don't understand a word.
Yeah, that would not play well. Since like I said, I wouldn't have a clue. I would be so lost. Maybe that's why I don't travel anywhere, is because of that. Just
well,
I'm afraid
there are a lot of English speaking places like the UK and Ireland, Iceland.
Yeah. Australia.
Australia.
they do have their kind of own language, but it's mostly understandable,
I never knew that John Coleman was from Australia until I got told by Jane.
Oh.
I always thought he was from the UK, like a lot of the FoodTribe people.
Yeah.
That work there.
Well,
like Rachel and James May and such.
Yeah. Well, that's it. But in all reality, I gotta say, the other Australians I have talked to or heard accents of, they're very close to the British accent. They're distinguishable, but they're close.
Yeah, I mean they were once all British prisoners.
Well, they are displaced UK people. I mean, state it that way. I'll be nice. But John Coleman doesn't actually sound Australian. I'm not sure what he does sound, but you don't have that
Australian.
typical Aussie accent, I guess. I think it's because he is the way he speaks. It kind of changes it. I do love listening to John talk. He's got one of them kind of voices and tones, I guess.
Definitely.
He's so funny. So, okay, well, back to some questions. Let's see. Where do you guys get your inspiration for meals, recipes, stuff like that?
Well, sometimes I see something on FoodTribe, but with that quintessential German series, it's mostly just that my grandma or my mom cooks something, and then I am like, why not? Let's post about that.
Yeah, I like
from any variety. A lot of times it's FoodTribe inspired, and then it's just memory inspired, or just seeing something totally different and thought, hey, I'll change that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I know with, you got your journey through FoodTribe, which you just recreate what other people post and stuff. And that's really cool.
It's really, really cool. I mean, I got to be a part of it once or twice, and I found it really, 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 really interesting how other people do those things.
Yeah.
So yes.
One of the things I enjoy is,
I would have probably never tried to make those things myself.
Hey, you've gotten creative. You tried a Juicy Lucy and a smash burger, and
yes, because I was watching a show on YouTube. It's called The Burger Show, if you know it.
Yep.
And I thought that it doesn't seem to be too hard to just try it, and then I wanted to cook something myself for myself,
Uh-huh.
and I was just struggling to figure out what I wanted to cook, so I just did that.
Well, that's it. FoodTribe is a great place for that kind of stuff. And tying the two together, like when you do something, you're quintessential German or something, and then Jane tries to copy for her journey, is the ingredients. Because sometimes, things are either named completely differently. It might be the
or
same
you
thing.
just cannot get them because they are not available.
And I've even noticed that on doing certain things. It's like, you have to improvise. And I do like seeing the improvisation of stuff you can't get, or, and it's like, okay.
Thank goodness for Google for that.
Definitely a part of what makes that whole thing very much interesting and very cool to watch and read along.
Yes, it is. What did you say, Jane?
I said sometimes thank goodness for Google for that, like the different flour substitutions.
Yeah.
So, Google is my friend.
Yeah.
It steals my data and everything, but Google is my friend.
Yes. It solves a lot of problems sometimes for me. I ran into that when I done Alex R's brioche buns, and the flour he recommended for those is something we just don't really get here, or I can't find anyway. So you have to, there again, bring up Google going, what can I do? And my worst thing was measurements. Because you guys do everything by grams and by weight.
And you guys do everything by cups and by spoons. How does the spoon know how big it has to be?
Well, and to us, it's just as weird because we don't go off of weight. We go off of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a capacity or whatever.
Yes, cups and spoons.
Volume. Thank you, Jane. That's the word I was looking for and not finding. And you can't convert weight to volume and vice versa. So, when Alex, which is another German, sent me, his recipe for his buns, I sit there and thought, now how am I going to do this? It's just, oh my gosh.
I have a tip for you. Just get a kitchen scale.
That's exactly what happened too. I went and bought a digital kitchen scale, and then went that route.
I mean, that way is kind of easier than trying to convert 1.5 cups into grams.
Yeah, well, and you can't. It is a volume and weight. There's no. Well, I am sure Google has a way to do it. I don't.
Probably.
So, that could be a real struggle sharing stuff. I'm sure Jane's ran into that more than once with all the stuff she's created.
Oh, yeah. There's a dish that Vince Lini had that our flour didn't equal their flour, and it just didn't turn out right.
Yeah.
Which one was that one?
It was an Easter bread. I am not going to try to pronounce what it's called, but it's an Easter bread, and he has since sent me his cousin's recipe, which they're in America. So okay. I'll be doing it Americanized now.
Oh, nice! Be looking forward to that.
Yes, me too.
So that's cool. Inspiration, a lot of stuff from FoodTribe. You can never eat the same thing twice because of just going through FoodTribe, picking things and things. It's wonderful.
Yes.
So, is there any food or meal that intimidates you to cook or prepare?
Yes, I always wanted to try a butter chicken from India, but I'm just scared to do it.
Yeah, butter chicken is good though.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I think Fatima has a butter chicken recipe on FoodTribe. Y'all check that one out.
They're-
I don't know if there's really for intimidation, because obviously, I like to jump in head first into some of these recipes, so kind of eliminates a lot of intimidation on some of the stuff.
Yeah. There has been some of the stuff you fixed, and I thought, there's no way. There's just no way.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not a baker, so anything baking-wise, I'm just lost. And, well, me and Natalie had that conversation as well, where it's so precise. You have to measure everything just right. Everything has to be... You're more scientist at that rate than just cooking. And I'm a fly-by-the-seat-of-the-pants kind of cook. I just throw stuff in. Taste it.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
and then I'm sometimes afraid that I will burn everything.
yeah.
So I stop too early, or I flip things too early, and then it usually turns out okay. But one time when I tried a Juicy Lucy first, it was still almost raw in the middle, so it really was not good.
No, no, yeah. I like rare, but yeah, there is limits to it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, when you brought that up, I was like, no, really the hardest thing, with the Juicy Lucy is just getting that seal right, so all the cheese just don't leak out everywhere. And
yeah, so that actually worked this time around.
Yeah, I've seen that. It seems like you've done really well. So I thought that was good. And of course, anytime I see somebody, try new burger, I get excited. It's just
Yes, because that is your job.
yeah. Well, as I say,
Or your name.
Yeah, I kind of got a reputation now.
Yes, but you made that reputation for yourself.
Yeah, I did.
With Burger Wars and Burger Tour and such things.
Yeah, that is something I got to get fired back up. Is World Burger Tour, but I had so much going on, y'all.
That's probably also a lot of work to get the things together and then to cook it and then to eat it.
And with that, it was one of them things. You didn't even know if it was going to work because people would send you something, and you're sitting there going, "Okay, I try to do one every week," and it was a weekly thing. And sometimes you think, I don't have enough time to do this because, first of all, I got to figure out how I'm going to convert this around. And then you got to try to cook it and see if it works. If it doesn't, then you do this again and try something different. And, and you think, oh my gosh. And some of them were pretty cut and dry and simple. And some of them took some creativity, man. It was rough.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
It's great fun though. It really is. If when you get into doing creativity stuff, that's where I have a lot of fun. I really enjoy that part. Cooking standard food is nice, but getting creative with things.
And trying new things is always nice.
Well, that's it. And I'm sure, Jane, do you like the more creative, or are you just, what do you like the most?
I like the more creative stuff and just something that's not in my normal everyday.
Yeah. Well, like you done the ramen series. I love that. Just, because you think normally ramen, it's just a bowl of noodles, but taking it to another level.
I sometimes grab some little ramen packs with duck flavor, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because they are cheap. They are like 70 cents or so.
Oh wow! Right. Yeah.
And I'm not even buying the cheapest ones because the cheapest ones aren't really good.
Yeah, no, most of them instant ramens aren't good in all reality. If you ask me.
No.
I'll take homemade any day. Please, just give me
Yeah,
homemade.
me too.
Now, like
Back when I was in Canada for a month or so, I pretty much lived on Mr. Noodles, and it was bad.
oh no. So, did you while you was in Canada, did you get to try the Canadian special poutine?
Yes, I miss it.
Yes.
We don't get that here.
Oh, well, you could probably get the stuff to make it yourself. couldn't
Yeah,
you?
there was even a bit about it in my French fry post.
That yeah. I would love to try it. Legit version of it.
Yes.
I've had variants of it.
Yeah, I prefer it with a thicker gravy, and the ones in Quebec do it with really thin gravy that is almost like water, and I just don't like that because it soaks into the fries too much.
Yeah, I agree. That the things people call gravy. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this one, but uh, there's people out here who call their gravy. To me, it's a sauce. It's like, no, that's too runny.
Yeah.
Gravy is something you shake off a spoon. It's got to
Yes,
have
definitely.
it's got to be thick. Otherwise, it's just
Gravy can be turned into a sauce, but gravy is thick.
yes. It's like chili. I need to be able to stick a fork in it and it still stays straight up.
Yes.
Otherwise, that's just a meat sauce to me. I can't do it.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm glad I'm not the only one in that regard. I just thought maybe that was an American thing or something.
No, but yeah.
Yeah, that I would like to try some poutine, the Canadian version, but I'm with you that gravy is going to be iffy. But I would still like to try it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I remember your post about the fries, and the first thing I thought of was chili cheese fries, and I'm like, that's probably one of my favorites.
Oh yes,
yeah.
those can be really good, but they can also be really bad if they are not made right.
Yeah, you got to get them fries really crispy. You might have to fry them
Yeah.
twice or whatever you do to get it to stand up to all that grease and juice.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a thing. Of course, okay, I'm going to ask: is it fries or chips for you technically, or both?
In Germany we call it pommes.
A what?
The French word for potato.
Oh, huh. Okay, fair enough.
Just that we say all the letters and are not like having a really long word, but only saying a little bit of it.
I know that is one of the things I have found with Ramon. He'll give a word out, and it's like, well, actually, Amelia, Polish is bad about that. It's like this big word for something simple like fry, and it's this giant word. It's like you just put every letter in the alphabet in there. That's what you.
Yeah, but we Germans also have some really long words because we can in theory take pretty much any noun and just stick it together and stick it together and stick it together.
Chain them together. I think that's how Ramon said how the Dutch work is. They can just these words become ginormous, and it's hilarious. It is one thing I love hearing different languages. I do. So what's German for cheeseburger, hamburger?
We don't have a word for that.
Oh, really? So what?
No, we call it cheeseburger and hamburger.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Well, now I feel completely stupid. I didn't know. Hey, see what I love. Like I said, I love learning different things. I'm so ignorant to a lot of this stuff, and I think it's fun. That's one of the kicks I get out of FoodTribe is
Yes.
learning things, stuff like that. I think it's a lot of fun. So let's see. We got any other questions we got to get through? No, actually, I think we've kind of answered them all. So that was pretty good. So do you think the question segment's pretty?
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to go through.
Okay. Any questions you think we ought to add to the list? Or that you would like to hear?
Not really, but things like spicy food or no spicy food.
Yeah.
Or what do you think about veganism?
Oh, we could go on for days.
Yes, definitely.
Spicy food, I obviously like. Me and Jane have embarked on this spicy challenge. we're not
Spicy
even
is
sure.
nice.
Yes, we're not sure where this is going. We just kind of. It actually got sparked by John Coleman because he actually gives both of us a hard time about, our spice levels and eating stuff, and we just thought it would be kind of a fun thing to also, get FoodTribers involved in, and
Definitely, but I will not buy those some young things because they are like really pricey.
Yeah. Well, in doing this is one thing we found. Well, first of all, they are high, but they're for instant ramen. They are better. I do believe you're getting a better grade for what you're paying for. But I agree, they are pricey. But
I mean, they have to be a bit better for that money.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Anyway, Vincelini. I got it right again, I hope. Anyway, he was wanting to jump in on this challenge because he loves spicy food as well.
Yeah.
And we always try to make it, where people are getting the same thing, so that way it's even. And
we find out it makes no sense to do a challenge.
Yeah, and he can't get them there because of regulations.
Yes, I think he's Russian or something.
No,
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Bulgaria. Yeah.
And they have
some people just cannot get certain things.
So I feel bad because he wants to take part so badly, and I would love to have him on. He's a trip. He's a really nice guy, it seems. Yeah. But he can't get it, and so we're trying, and I don't know when the next challenge is going to happen because we're working out where to go with it next.
Yeah, but I also have to say that name had confused me before I had seen the first video, because Sam Young is also a producer of cheap camera lenses.
Oh, I did not know that.
and I was like, what? I'm confused. I have to see that.
No, we're not eating camera lenses.
No, I think that wouldn't go down too good.
No, I'm not interested in that. No, I'm not interested. Although I'd probably eat that before crickets. But anyway, so that's funny. I learned something new. I didn't know that. I just thought they made noodles. So
yeah.
But
I guess it's probably a different Sam Young, but the name is. What was the first thing that I saw?
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't know that. So maybe, or they're just one of them people who make manufacturers who make many different things.
Maybe. Who knows?
I have no idea. So yeah, but we're trying to figure out where to take it next. And there again, if anybody out there wants to jump in or has any ideas what they want to see us do, feel free to get a hold of either one of us and let us know. DM us, Discord, whatever you got. Let us know, because right now we're in a limbo of trying to decide what's next.
Yes.
We have had a few with the chip challenge, and Jane sent me a link, and these things are $50 a piece. No.
Oh no.
No.
Hey, I think I heard a German word there.
Nope, it happened.
Nein.
Nein. That's great. That is so cool. It's actually one of the German words I don't know why I always get a kick out of when I hear an actual German say it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like the number.
Yeah.
And with that YouTube video German anger behind it, like when they say Schmetterling.
Yeah. What is it?
Butterfly.
Oh, such a strong word for such a
Yes, but it all depends on how you pronounce it. I could also say butterfly. and be angry about those things.
Yes. I always had to say that German. I have a friend who is German, and they got dual citizenship both here and there, and they have a home in Germany and a home here, and she can bounce back and forth from German to English absolutely flawlessly, and sometimes she'll.
I cannot do that.
And she can actually talk in both languages at the same time. So many words could be German, then she'll switch to English in so many words, and then switch back to flawlessly. And it is so. I have come to the realization that an angry German is one of the most intimidating sounding languages there is, because
yes.
she was this really soft spoken lady and sweet as can be. Her name was Siglinda, and she was so nice, but she would get angry at her kids because her kids would do something dumb, and immediately,
as kids do.
and she would never yell at her kids in English. It was always German, and she'd be sitting here talking to you, and it was just this very soft voice, this very kind kind of sound, and good clean English, and then all of a sudden it was this angry German. And I got scared, and I wasn't even like getting yelled at. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that sounds violent.
Yeah. As someone who was a German kid once who did stupid shit, I can definitely relate.
I gotta say, so that is German and Russian. Those are the two to me that. When those two are angry, they are a very angry sounding language. It's very...
Yes, they definitely can be.
And it's like, oh, wow, I've even heard little Amelia Mig fired up, and in Polish, it's like, wow, okay, I have no idea what you're saying, but okay.
Yeah.
You got my attention. I have no idea what you're saying, but you got my attention. So that's one of the things I always found interesting, is how a language can make different, I don't know, influence on you. It's how you feel. So,
yes. When you hear a German yell "Scheiße," you definitely should go away because something has gone wrong.
Yes,
badly.
Yes. Like I said, it was always so shocking, because when she would, she was very soft spoken, but when she got angry and the German come out, it was so different. It's like, whoa, it's just she's like 5'4", she's a little lady, and and then all of a sudden you just expect, I don't know, something completely different, but
yeah.
It always got my attention, and like I said, I wasn't even the one being yelled at. I felt like I should apologize for something. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, And I probably wouldn't mind learning German if I was going to pick a language. I always said
It's
I'd
definitely not easy to learn, I think.
No, I bet not. I always thought it'd be Japanese because I actually always wanted to go to Japan and stay there for a while. I love Japanese culture. And
Yes. I just watched the James May in Japan thing again, and it was really hilarious at times.
Yes. Yeah. Going to different countries though is to me a bit intimidating because especially if you're going somewhere where they don't speak a lot of English and stuff.
Yes, definitely.
That could get my luck. I'd say the wrong thing and trying to say something in their language, and then I'm going to get
and then insulting them and their mother.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm afraid of too. Exactly
Yeah.
what I'm afraid of. So, I hate to ask this, Jane. Do you have any idea what time it is?
It's about 10 after 11.
10 after 11.
Yes.
Okay, we still got a little time. That's fantastic.
I was going to say it's 5:16, but I forgot the time zones.
Well, I almost just asked us a general rule, and I thought, wait a minute, I better not ask Robin because that could get really confusing too.
Yes.
And for people who might not realize, these podcasts can get long, and you don't realize it.
Very true.
You get to talking to people, especially like somebody you knew, used to talking to you in comments and DMs and stuff, but to actually have a chance to sit and talk to you like this is completely different. And
yeah, definitely.
You get to learn more, interact more, and when you get really good people, it's just easy to sit and talk. And then next thing you know, you're there 3.5 hours or something.
Yeah, with comments, you have some time to think about what you want to write, but face to face is completely different.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I still think this is a great method of us getting to know each other better and getting,
definitely,
as I've said, just that. Instead of seeing a little icon all the time, now you have a voice, a face.
Yes, and a real face. I only have that memoji thing from my phone.
Yeah. Well,
because I don't like to take selfies and such things.
I understand that.
And then I just took that because it kind of looks like me.
Yes, it does. I give you that one. I have mine is a picture of my dog I used to have.
Yeah.
And I put it up there because I thought no one wants to look at this. I mean, so I thought this is a safer picture. And now here I am.
Yeah, the first time I saw a video with your actual face in it, I was like, looks different than I would have imagined.
Believe it or not, I have heard that.
I had imagined like a 60-year-old retired cop or something like that.
No, I'm only 46, going on 47. I know I talk about how old I am all the time, but no, I'm not quite there yet. So, although it feels like it's coming quick, I tell you, it's coming quick. And that's how it is with a lot of these. It's neat to see people in who they really are, and I know with the people I have talked to, now when I read their comments or even their posts, I hear their voice, I see their image, and it does make you feel that little bit more, I don't know, closer to somebody, or
definitely.
And John Coleman's, I always bring up, I always talk about John. I admit it. He is one of them. The little things he says, like for the longest time, his Maccas, I would read that and I had no idea how to even say it. And I'm like, Macaz? What? And
Yeah.
now, after talking to him and hearing him say that, uh, I hear that immediately. As soon as I see Macca's, I have that accent, everything, and it just
Yeah.
makes it so much more fun and entertaining. Hearing Ramon say "apple flopper," that one, it's so much cooler because you know how it's supposed to sound. You know how it's supposed to be said, even in my case where I can't say it correctly.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to hear it. Even like with you, it's going to be interesting now reading your articles with your
Yeah.
hearing your.
I know a little bit about Dutch, and I know that they speak their G's very weird, more like a, and I cannot do that. Especially when it is in the beginning of a word, I just cannot do that.
Yeah, there's several of these that there's noises that are made. That's the best way I can
Yeah.
put it. And I'm like, how do you do that? I don't. How do you do that? So, yeah, and it is cool. And even if it's not another language, just like Amelia, I almost said, oh my, sorry, Amelia. Leela, she's just in Texas, but it's still cool to like when you read her articles or comments,
Yeah.
you have that.
Southerners.
Yes. And
There is a YouTube channel that I watch sometimes. It's called a Southern Thing, and it's so funny how they talk.
Well, if the southern United States, you get down into some of them areas, and it is almost another language.
Yeah.
Well, even here in Ohio,
it's almost other people. I mean, when someone in Ohio does something bad, they say a 60-year-old was arrested going down the highway at 100 miles or so. In Florida,
Yeah.
it is just a Florida man arrested.
Yes. The accents are so different, even just in the United States. We are such a vast area, but I was in Georgia for a while, and people thought I was from Alabama, and I'm like, no, I'm from Southern Ohio, and people had me from all over, and
may I ask from where in Ohio?
well, I'm about an hour south of Columbus.
I have heard about Columbus in a very well-known movie where one of the characters is called Columbus.
Oh, right, Zombieland.
Yes.
Oh, yes. No, I know that movie well. I love that movie. Yeah, us Ohioans we get excited when.
But I have to say, I never found Twinkies to be anything special.
I kind of do and don't. In all reality, they're not pleasant.
No.
But I ate them as a child, so every once in a while, it's that childhood memory thing, and I get all nostalgic with it. So when I see them, it's like, oh, I need Twinkies, and
yeah, just like me with those stupid gumballs that taste like nothing. but it was just like, ooh, get.
Yes. I do wonder with that, looking back when I was reading that article, and I thought, though, as a kid, your imagination is very active and plays a big role in things. And
yeah, back when I was a kid, Pokemon was very, very big, and then it got banned at my school because people were stealing each other's Pokemon cards and were getting into huge fights about Pokemon.
Oh no, Pokemon didn't exist when I was in school.
Yeah,
no idea.
And when I was in high school, there was all that Pokemon Go stuff.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah,
They-
there were a lot of Pokemon Go's.
Yeah, when I was in school, I'm sure Jane can attest. When our school age, things were completely different. We were still allowed to
Yeah,
play dodge. We were still allowed to play dodgeball. That was deemed okay. Our
I like
playground,
dodgeball.
yes, our playgrounds were concrete and metal bars. Not this child safe stuff anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at my school it was concrete stuff, and then they ripped it out and put some weird rubber shit
yeah.
that they then had to rip out again because it was getting slippery in the rain.
Oh no.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
see, we didn't have none of that. Most of the playgrounds I had in schools were actually blacktop. It was concrete or blacktop,
yeah.
and
The blacktop is just like a normal street.
Mhm. Yep.
Good.
And then yeah, pavement, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
and then the playground equipment was just steel piping, and stuff like
yeah.
that. Oh, I remember a lot of bloody recesses where kids missing teeth or busted lips.
Yeah, me too.
Survival of the fittest back then, boy.
Yes, definitely.
We were allowed to have merry-go-rounds that children flew off of like slingshots and, and stuff.
Yeah, no, we did not have that.
Oh, that was, and I do feel bad for the children now because they don't. I get everything has to be safe now. Yeah, there were some children who got hurt when I was in school, but
Yeah,
uh,
things with children's rights and so have changed a lot since back then.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I guess looking back, it could have got dangerous. Going back to
Yeah,
the merry-go.
probably. I mean, back then a lot of things were dangerous.
Yes. Well, as a rule, being a
Like
child
cars
life is
without
dangerous.
seatbelts and such things.
See, I
Or,
remember that.
or people filling their cars up with
Yes.
way too many people. and then going to holidays many hundred miles away.
Yep. Done that a lot.
Yeah, but that was normal, and apparently most people survived that, so can't be
Yeah.
too
Well,
bad.
prime example. I remember, this is before seatbelt laws and all that. Me and our friends was going from where we live here in Southern Ohio to Northern Ohio up to Lake Erie.
Yeah, that's a
And
long way.
yes, that's like a 4.5, 5 hour ride. And we was all going up to go fishing, and it was me and my dad and our friend Mike and his son Sean. And we was going in an old Ford F-150 truck, so all four of us couldn't fit inside the truck. So Dad and Mike rode in the truck to drive, and me and Sean rode in the back of the truck. There was no seat belts, there was no cap or nothing. We just sat in the back of the truck and went all the way across the state.
Yeah, one time I was like going for 10 kilometers also in the trunk of a car with a few friends, but we had to hide so that no one would see us.
Now, well, kind of. I've kind of hidden the trunk of a car before. I wasn't actually hiding. It was just the only place I could fit in the car.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had a Volkswagen Bug. It was one of the newer ones, not the old one. It was the new one.
Tiny car.
Yeah, and the only spot left was the little spot behind the back seat, which was the trunk. So I squeezed down into there, and I was all curled up back there, and I thought, God, I hope we don't get rear-ended. If we get hit in the rear end, I'm dead. I just did.
Yeah.
But back then that was just normal, and it does take the fun out of some things. We don't have station wagons here anymore, but that was one of the greatest things I loved was, no seatbelt laws. If you was in a family trip and you was in a station wagon, you was great because you laid the back seats down, and now you had a big playroom. and you can run around in the back
Yeah.
and have your Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars and GI Joes and Star Wars and all the stuff we used to play with back then. And it was like a big playroom. And now
Yeah.
kids can't do that. You know,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know. So it's I don't know. It's kind of sad, but I guess things have to change.
Yeah, so, things always change.
Yes, yes. So that is true. So hopefully, I don't know. I'd like to go back to that. I would. I think it's.
Yeah.
I survived it. If I can survive it, anybody's got hope. Me and James, prime examples of it. We made it. My parents made it.
And then the nice state trooper comes along. You are riding without your seatbelts. That is expensive.
Yes, yes, yes. I can't remember what it is here now for if you get caught without your seatbelt.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. I have never been caught without it. I have been caught speeding once, like a little bit over, and I only had to pay a warning fee, but just a little bit more, and it would have been bad. And one time, I accidentally went a little bit across a red light, and I got lucky because nothing happened because apparently something went wrong. There was no traffic camera there.
Oh,
But that is like 5 years ago now, so it's long past the statute of limitations. So I can talk about that.
no, that's just funny. So, yeah, that's just funny. You guys have a lot of traffic cameras there?
We have sometimes, but it is that they tend to change positions a lot because they are usually mobile cameras, and they have a nice armored trailer so that no one can bust into the camera, and that is then sitting at the road sometimes, and everyone knows the speed limit, but everyone is still going above it.
That's funny. No, I think we kind of moved into DriveTribe territory here, technically.
Yeah, it seems so a bit.
It happens. I gotta ask. I mean, do you drive on the Autobahn? I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Not often because there is no. It would be a huge detour to go to the Autobahn just to drive on the Autobahn.
Well, no, I get that.
and my car isn't really the fastest anyway. I only have a little Volkswagen. I think it's called Rabbit in America.
Okay, what's it called there?
A Polo, like the sport.
The Polo. Okay, yeah, I know the Polo. Yeah, I think the Rat.
Yeah, and it has like 60 horsepower and still takes way too much fuel.
The speed limit's higher than your horsepower rating. That's bad.
Yeah, I think the fastest I ever went was about 100 or maybe 110 miles.
Oh wow! Right, I didn't even know they'd go that fast.
If I get the conversion right, 180 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, you'd be pushing. Yeah, you'd be pushing almost 100 mile an hour. You're in that area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know 100. I know 100 kilometers an hour is like 62 miles an hour. I know, or 60.
Yes,
60.
about.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd be up by the 100 area. So I just had to ask because you can't talk to a German and not ask about the Autobahn, at least as an American.
Yeah, that's true. But the next Autobahn is like 30 kilometers from here, and there's just no use in using it when I don't have to. But the normal highway that is like 500 meters from my house is also without speed limit for the most part.
See,
Except for that bit where everyone knows the speed limit and they're still going too fast.
See, I think that is fascinating. That's one thing I think Germans have right is, the I don't want to say lack of speed limits because obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really useful, but when there's so much traffic that you cannot go faster anyways.
Yeah, because I know there's times it's like, well, here you'll be on a highway, freeway, whatever you want to call them, and there's no one around, and it's a straight shot, and it says 55, 65 mile an hour. It's like, well, why can't I make great time?
The only other driver around is the police.
Yes, and it's like, why can't we have German rules here? Where
the German highway patrol can be very mean. Because they have completely anonymous cars. That you pretty much cannot see at all, because we pretty much don't have such a thing as entrapment. I mean, when you are going too fast, you're going too fast. It's not like you're going too fast because there's a police car behind you.
Right? Oh, I didn't know that. That does change the game considerably. So
yes.
See, here we have state troopers. You can spot them. They're getting harder to spot, to be honest with you. But they're very noticeable as a state trooper.
Yes.
There are some out there though that are like what you have. You described there. They're just in plain cars. They got hidden lights and stuff in them. They're rare, but they are out there. But
I mean, in an ideal world, you would just follow the rules because there are the rules, and not because there's a cop behind you.
Well, now according to Top Gear and Grand Tour and the 3, since you're German, you can't break the rules. It's against your nature to break rules.
well, I have driven and I almost got into a police control because they sometimes shut down the road and control everyone. Yeah. And they were doing that in the opposite direction. And right at that moment, I had noticed that I did not have my driver's license with me.
Oh no!
But that wouldn't actually would not have been too bad actually, because then you usually get like a note that you take to the next police station with your driver's license, and then they like call off the investigation.
Oh, okay.
Because then they know, yes, has a driver's license, isn't suspended or anything.
Okay.
And I would probably guess I am a bad German because I also go across the red light when there are no cars around.
Well, technically,
I mean, not with the car because it can get expensive. But when I'm just walking somewhere and sometimes I just don't care.
I get that. Of course, if that stereotype was so true, you guys wouldn't have police. So
yeah, but here in my area, we for a while had a guy who was just walking along all day long and like giving tickets to people, and he wasn't even a cop or something like that. He was just doing it for fun, and no one liked that guy.
I bet not.
And now they aren't even taking his stuff in anymore because he was a little bit too much.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly here in the United States.
I think in 1 year he had like 20,000 people he tried to report. And
Oh,
one
wow.
time he even reported an air ambulance.
Yeah, okay, that's going above and beyond.
Because the helicopter had to land somewhere, and he was like, "Oh, they are standing on the sidewalk. I cannot walk here. I
Oh
report them to
my.
the police."
Oh no. Yeah, somebody like that wouldn't make it long here in the States. That wouldn't fly well.
Yeah,
So, bad things would happen to them.
yeah, I have not heard about that guy in a few years. I think he's okay.
Well, I'm glad
I
he's
don't really care.
yeah. Well, no, I bet not. I bet not. So, well, Robin, Jane, anybody got anything to they want to
Jane
add?
has not said much. Say something.
Speak now.
Or is that just a screensaver?
Start get up and dancing around.
Full of John Coleman.
Oh, no doubt.
Inside.
No, I can't think of anything right offhand.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay. Well, for a lot of people out there who don't know, we actually are filming another one. Well, actually for DriveTribe, actually right after this. So that's why I'm a little more conscious of time right now.
Yeah.
So, I guess if everybody is fine with it, we'll go ahead and close this out.
Yeah.
Okay, Robin, I gotta say, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Oh, anytime. Hey, I always tell people, if you like doing it, you like being on, let me know. I come on anytime. Because I would like to get, as I've said many times, more people. I know often it's me and somebody, or just me, Jane, and somebody. And I would like to eventually get like groups of people together. And I don't know how.
The more the merrier.
Exactly. And I don't know how many people this will handle. But I'd like to find out and actually have.
Yeah, I would say maybe like so that there are 9 fields so that you can actually see the people when you're watching the video.
Yes, because
at some point they just get too small.
I know me and Jane have been on calls, and it was me, her, Ramon, Emilia, Fulana. God, I forgot who all was on some of them. Felipa was on the 1 or 2, and stuff like that. And it's so much more fun when you get more people on. So eventually, I might try to do something that like everybody who's been on a podcast comes back and try to do one big group thing.
That would probably be an insane fun.
Yeah, I think it would be. The worst problem with that is getting these time zones figured out.
Yes, and yeah, I guess that would really be the biggest problem.
You think with how many of these I've done, I'd kind of learned some of them, but I still.
Yeah, I mean, it's also still would be a lot of people that would have to be somehow coordinated to be all in the same video at the same time.
Yes, and that is honestly the hardest part that people probably don't realize is they think, well, just jump on a call and talk to somebody. Well, yeah, but when they're 12 hours or something like that different than you. Use John Coleman for this one. Australia is in a complete, like what today's
it's pretty much right on the other side.
Yeah, and it's like Monday
for
to him. Yeah, it's weird. So trying to schedule these things can get rough. So
yeah, definitely.
Well, like I said, anytime you want to come on, we can work something out and do that. So it's been a pleasure to get to talk to both of you.
It's definitely been
cool. All right. Well, anybody, Jane, closing words?
It was great to actually see you face to face, Robin.
Yeah, same.
Cool.
Now,
All
now,
right.
now I know. So, at least a few more of the people that are always liking and commenting, and that I interact with on
Yes.
FoodTribe, because that's always nice to see the person behind the little avatar.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So, okay. Well, it has been a lot of fun. I will.
Just one more question. Does the podcast have a name now, or still not?
Nope. Still
May-
has
may-
it.
Maybe that should stay that way, because it is somehow not the worst name. It turns up some interest, I would guess.
Well, I did actually get a lot of comments on the when I was doing the yet to be named podcast. And people
Yeah,
said somehow that's actually kind of fitting, and they found it funny. And I was like, yeah, but that I get it, but so no,
or at least for a while.
yes, so we're still technically the as yet to be named podcast.
Yeah,
I just haven't found anything that I truly got
yeah,
behind,
yeah.
and I can't even
Isn't that easy to find
no, because I want something
good
that would
names.
be catchy and stick, and I
Yeah,
can't come up with anything, and I honestly
definitely
haven't.
has to be memorable,
Yeah, and so
so that people know what they're listening to, and
exactly,
not
and
just that is a Duck F podcast again. I like that.
I have toyed with so many names, and just nothing has stuck. Nothing has
Yeah,
rung out to me, and I like some, but I don't want to just name it just to get a name on it.
yeah, and also names can be restrictive
Yes, and
for what people can do with their
yeah,
podcast, or things like that.
yeah, I ran into that one because one of the things I was wanting to do, I found out I couldn't because of copyright purposes. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
this is
but I also mean, like when you call a podcast the F-150 podcast, you can only talk about that, because
yes,
people expect
yes.
that you only talk about that.
Yeah, and, well, and if I stick it to food bait only, then that changes because often there's times our conversations divulge into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
and
we
I don't.
also kind of straight into DriveTribe, right
Yep, and
there.
that happens regularly. So and
Yeah,
I don't want to limit it. That's why I want it to be free flowing and just talk to people and not so narrow minded in a way it's done. I want it to be open, and
yeah,
I think that's how we get to
definitely.
know each other is just open conversation. So I think that makes it a little nicer. And
Definitely.
so far, people like you are enjoying it, and that means a lot to me. So
Yes,
that means a lot.
I am definitely enjoying it.
Good, good. So hopefully I get to do many more of them, and
Yeah,
get to
that
know
would be
more.
nice.
So yeah. So, all right. Well, if that's it, we'll close this down. And
Yeah.
as always, you guys are welcome back anytime. I know Jane's on quite a bit. It seems like anymore.
Yeah, it's like you're pretty much a talk show team.
Yeah, she's become my co-host, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
At times. So, yeah, it's how it's turned because well, as I did you, I ask people. I say, is there any other food tribers you'd want to join in? And
yeah,
overwhelmingly, it's either usually no, I don't really care, or whoever, or whatever. People just really don't care. Or it's Jane. There's only a
yeah.
50-50 seconds.
I mean, I asked for Jane because
Yeah.
I somehow find just two people a little bit more flat than when they are three or more, because then it happens more that someone comes in from the side, and
Yeah.
like goes in like in a real TV talk show.
Yes. And like I said, that's why I want, I always try to incorporate more people so it don't seem quite so interviewee at times, or
Yeah.
I don't know what word is there I'm looking for, but yeah, I want it to just be a friendly chat, as if we were sitting in a
Late
living
night
room.
with Doug F.
I have got some really
Now
creative
on NBC.
Oh no, that scares me. That scares me. So
Yeah,
that
would probably
I
scare
don't-
me too.
I don't think I could go. Yeah, this is wearisome enough on me, and I've been doing podcasts for almost 8 months now,
Yeah,
and it still scares me to death. It's just like,
yeah, definitely.
every time I sit down to turn the camera on, I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it is definitely better when you actually talk to other people, because it's not like, why am I talking to my camera? This is awkward.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
And
no doubt. I was doing that the other day outside, and then the neighbor comes walking through their yard. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
What are they going to think of me?
And it was a teenager at that. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
Well, as a teenager, you got better hope. They probably just think, they're doing something. It's the older people that look at
yeah.
you.
They're like, is that person insane? Should I call someone? Do they need an
Yeah.
ambulance?
And I got a neighbor that if I'm outside and I record something, I've done a few just off my back porch. And I'm always afraid she's going to walk out. She's an older lady. She's older than me by like 10 or 11 years. And I know what it'd be. Them hands on the hip. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And, and I can hear it in my
What
head.
are you doing over there?
Have you lost your mind? Are you crazy? Yeah. So
Yeah.
there is that, and it is an awkward thing. I ain't gonna lie, I could be in my own house, like when I filmed the watermelon thing, and just by myself is the most awkward. It's always easy.
Yes, definitely.
But when you're by yourself, it just seems so much more awkward.
Yes,
I have to agree.
I sometimes cannot understand how those vloggers are doing it.
No, I can't either. So, okay, y'all, we're gonna close this one down. We've had a lot of fun. I hope everybody out there has enjoyed it as much as we have and had as many laughs and as much fun. These are
Was great.
Yeah, these are. I hope y'all tune in for our next podcast, and it should be coming out soon. And as always, Food Tribe, stay wonderful, and remember, I love y'all.